Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. And we're starting another month, and that means it's time to look back at what I did last month. November of 2024, it's already December, the year is almost over, so I've got to start getting ready for all my end of year plans. But I've got a month to worry about that. For now, let's worry about what I did last month, starting with the videos you may or may not have seen from me. There were 4 videos last month, starting with, again, this look back, as I do at the beginning of every month. So you can check out what I did in October in that video. Then I did my look back at the 5 years of the past, and this one was 15 plus years ago. So I looked at 15 years ago, or 1999, or no, 2009, 2004, 1999, 1994, etc., as far back as I felt like kind of venturing, and looked at the games and expansions that I want to play and that I really enjoy from those years. Then I released a review of Jiangnan, The Life of Gentry, and that's a game I've really come around to liking this year. So if you want to see about kind of how it's played, and if you might be interested in checking that one out, you can check out my review. And then finally, I did some games for playing with the family. It was 10 with some additional throw-ins, games to play with the family for the holidays. That holiday specifically was Thanksgiving, but I'm sure it'll carry over just fine into the coming holidays here in the next few weeks. So those were the videos I released last month. Let's go ahead and look at what games I played to include a top 5 new to me games, as you saw in this title. First of all, I had some family in town. I had a little bit of time to play, so I got actually 22 plays in the 30-day month of November. So not bad, almost 1 a day's worth. So that's a lot better than my trending had been lately. 22 games, 17 different games, so I mixed it up quite a bit, but I had a few repeats as well. And finally, of course, as we're about to discuss, the top 5 new to me games that I played in November, starting with number 5 right now. And that is Wishland. Wishland is a card kind of collection game, a little bit of a tableau builder, I guess, worker placement especially, where you're placing workers out into various categories to gather entertainment for your amusement park. It's an amusement park game. And so based on where you go, you're either getting rides or entertainment or stalls or things that are going to help you kind of collect more resources and money and happiness points to try to win the game along the way. And you're playing it through, I want to say 6 or 8 rounds. I don't remember. And this one's unique in that you're not placing workers as the round goes on, and then at the end of the round, everybody takes their workers back. You see that a lot in worker placement games. But in this game, you're actually taking workers back as a turn action. So it could be any point of any round, you're going to take your workers back as the action. And this one's different in that no matter how many different workers are on the spot, you've got to play one more than the number of people who have workers currently at that spot, even if that person is you. So for an empty spot, you could put 1 worker down. And then you could go right back to that same spot, but you have to pay 2 workers because there's already somebody's workers there. And if somebody else went in between, then you have to play 3 workers, and they would have to play 2. And then as workers come back, it might open it up and make it cheaper to go there later. So you might want to kind of hold off and see, hopefully, someone's going to take the workers back and make that spot easier for you to go to. So it's a neat game. I really like amusement parks, so the theme caught me. I like kind of card tableau building, and I really like worker placement and kind of resource management as well. So this game was fun. In fact, all 5 of these games was really hard to rank them, as you'll see as we get moving on. Or hopefully you'll see. Maybe I'm not eloquent enough to spell it out, but I did really enjoy all 5 of these games. So, number 4 is a new cities game. Stefan Feld Queen Cities game, and this one is Cuzco. And in this game, you are using your dice to take actions based on dice placement on various spots. And this was a re-implementation of, I don't remember which game. I'll have to put it in the notes or something. But this was a re-implementation of one of Feld's other games that I had not played, with some more added to it, such as the little feather headdress thing that you're building out to also do actions with. But basically in this game, you're rolling your dice, everybody's rolling their dice, and then you're going to place them onto the action spots. And you have to place lower dice than dice that are already there, but the number of pips you use, that's how many actions or how powerful that action is for that spot. So you do want to place the high dice there, But when you place a high dice there, that means more people can go there. But if you place your 1 die there, then maybe you're the only one who's taking that action, but you're taking it at a real weak value. So it's a really good give and take. And I played this one solo as well as Wishland. I played both of these games solo. And this game has a lot of stuff I like. Again, the management of your actions with the dice and the pips and the limited spots, because in a 2-player game, you got way less spots. Some of the spots are combined. Where a 4-player game, every spot is in action. Some of these are combo action spots where you're taking one or the other. But you're just doing all kinds of things on the board to get points, as a lot of stuff on Feld games are. So everything you do is going to get you something, even if you're not doing the one thing you specifically really wanted to do. You're going to get something out of every action, and you're really thinking through and trying to plan things out and hope, if I place this die here, hopefully I can get that next spot too with my other die that I really want to use. But there's always something available, and you've got so many different things you're trying to do. Places on the map you're trying to explore, feathers you're trying to collect for your headdress or flip over to get the points. You're managing goals for every round, because at the end of every round, if you complete a goal, you get 6 points. But if you don't complete any goals, then you're just discarding a goal card, because you're going to get a new one at the end of every round as well. So it's just a lot to manage, a lot of thinking, great dice management. But it's not the random dice, because you're rolling at the beginning of the turn and then working with them based on what you have. So I really like all those things. In a similar vein, my number 3 is Coimbra, another dice drafting game, but this time you're picking spots with your dice to collect cards that are going to go into your tableau and build out more resources, more generation. There's tracks you're managing. There's areas you're managing. This has really a lot kind of in combination with Cuzco. It's very, very similar, but different play styles. Cuzco is a little bit heavier than Coimbra, but they're basically doing the same thing. You're using your dice you've drafted. You're going out and getting cards and things with those dice. In this game, it's pretty much specifically just cards that you're bringing back, and then those cards are going to help you to do things, move up tracks, and get other actions or in-game scoring points. I really like this one. It plays quicker and easier, and so that's kind of why I eked it out. But I really had a hard time, especially with 2 through 4, kind of putting what where. And in the end, I went with Cuzco at 4 and Coimbra at 3, just because I felt Coimbra was just a little smoother. And the reason neither of these two were number 2 is because they don't have official solo variants. I did have to go find, fan-made solo variants on Board Game Geek and use those. So while they're not official variants, they are very good variants, and so I was able to play them both solo and get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But that's the reason why neither of these two went into the number 2 spot, because I really did have a hard time with 2, 3, and 4 in the ranking. They're all so good. So let's go ahead and talk about number 2. This one has an official solo variant, and that's kind of why it won out, even though it's the way more complex of the games, and that is the Weather Machine. And this is a Vital Lacerda game, which means it's heavy. If you know anything about Vital Lacerda, they're very heavy games. They've got a lot kind of going on, and it takes a little while to kind of mesh into them. And it did take me a while to figure out how to get this one rolling. But they've got this great, tight action selection, worker placement, and you have to move to different spots. There's only 4 spots you can even go to. And every spot you have to move to a different one. But there's so much comboing and making sure you've got the resources to take advantage of those combos. Because sometimes you'll go to a spot, think you're in a combo, and then realize you can't even do that combo you thought you were going to do. And so it's just a lot to manage, a lot of fun, though, in trying to figure out that management, at least for me, in trying to make everything work, the resource management, the combos, the actions, the workers, and really the timing of some events, because you don't want the Weather Machine to kick off without your involvement in it running. So you really do need to be on the lookout for what's coming next as far as trying to get those extra curricular actions at the end of each round too. And I just really enjoyed the thinkiness of this. But again, 2, 3, and 4, super interchangeable. The only reason this one went out is because it does have that official play-tested solo variant. And so Weather Machine is my number 2 favorite new to me game from November. And finally, my number 1 favorite new to me game from November is the only one I played with other people. So that's probably why it eked to the top. It's always more fun to play with other people, I imagine. I don't imagine. I generally have more fun playing when others are playing than solo, despite how good the solo modes are. It's always good to interact with people. And this is a game that had been on my shelf for probably a year now. And I finally was able to get it to the table with people who know how to play trick-taking games, because that's been the holdup, is I don't want to teach trick-taking games to people and then try to teach them Cat in the Box simultaneously. So Cat in the Box is my number one, and this is a trick-taking game where everybody's hands are blank of suits. You just get black numbers, and you decide what suit they are, what color they are as you play the turns out and try to win the tricks. And you're betting on the tricks, and if you hit that bet just right, you're going to get extra points. But you could cause an anomaly because there are extra cards in the deck. And if you get yourself in a point where you've got a card to play and you can't logically play it because it's like a 5 and you have to have a blue or red 5, but blue and red are taken already, then that card physically can't exist. And then you're actually going to get negative points from that. So it's a really interesting game, managing the cards at hand and playing just a basic trick-taking game. It really is a combination of all my favorite trick-taking games that I grew up playing, such as Spades and Hearts and things like that. And some of the ones I haven't played, my friends I was playing with talked about how it related to those as well. And we all really enjoyed it. We had a great time kind of sussing out Cat in the Box. And I really enjoyed this play. Again, added because I did play with other people and not solo. And that might have helped propel it to number one, but it really is a good game that I've been looking forward to playing to for a long time, because I really enjoy trick takers, and I really knew I would enjoy Cat in the Box, and I did. And that's it. That's what I did in November of 2024. Let me know in the comments below what you've been playing, what you've been doing, and what you thought about my top 5 list. And again, I said these were all really good games and could be interchangeable, so take that with a grain of salt, especially the 2, 3, and 4 spots. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you can come back and catch my next video, hopefully next week. In the meantime, have fun gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.